Hello everyone, today we're going to look at using a very simple Boolean, which is just true or false, 1 or 0, binary, and we'll also look at using a Boolean in an if statement. So the first thing we have in front of us here is our form. We've put a checkbox. This is a very simple way to conceptualize a Boolean. We'll say true, the Boolean is true when the checkbox is checked, and false when it's not checked, which is the result that Windows Forms gives us as well. And then we'll just display the value in this simple little label here. So I've added these two controls, two basic controls. First thing we'll do is create a Boolean that we're going to name is checked. Keep the names logical, easy to understand. Is checked true, is checked false. That's the objective here. So now let's define the is checked Boolean by the value inside of what's in the checkbox, which is this guy right here. That's the checkbox that I've defined. And then we're going to pull the checked property out of the checkbox. You can see here on the right, on the properties panel, we have a property called checked, and by default it's false. You can also, by default, have it be true, but I'm going to have it default to be false. And you saw that it toggled the check there when I did that. Now we just want to check the Boolean value. So this is a great way to understand Booleans and if statements. So if statements, a basic if statement, will run if the value inside the if statement is true. So in this case, we're checking for the value inside the if statement. We're checking if the checkbox is checked. When that checkbox is checked, this code will run. And we will update this label here to say what the value of what's inside the checkbox is. So we'll just say bool is, and then we'll do a little bit of string concatenation, and then we'll take this value and we can convert it to a string to pull the value of the Boolean out of its Boolean state and convert it to a variable that will allow us to input it into this label, this text. So that's all that's really needed to check for if the Boolean is true. Now we can check for the opposite case, which is our else statement. If you wanted to get fancy, you could do not. You could put a not in front of is checked to flip the Boolean, but we're going to keep it simple and just do else. Else is the code that will run if this is false. And one or the other will always run in this instance. When you do an if else, this runs or this runs in all circumstances. An easy way to understand what's going on up here, this will do something if the checkbox is checked. Down here, this will do something else if not checked. And we can just use this same line of code here. The convenience of doing is checked to string here is that this value changes and we can just append that to our string. So let's run our program, see what it does. So when the checkbox is checked, our Boolean value is true. When it's not checked, it's false. So if we went into the debugger here, we would see that the is checked value here is true when I click this checkbox here, and it's false when it's unchecked. and we're using the check change event. So this code runs whenever this value changes. That's what the check change event does. So that's how I'm getting the code to initiate. We're using the check change event here to initiate the code. And that there's two, you could double click the checkbox to do that, or you can also go into the lightning bolt. Right now I have the checkbox selected, and you can double click here to create that event. So that's another common event handler in Windows Forms that's really handy. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.